XRP. All right, things are getting interesting. And I've been seeing a lot more discussions like you can see here on X.com. There was on the right-hand side, they had one of these where they summarized the fact that there's a debate over XRP in the US Bitcoin Reserve intensifies, talking about the executive order that the administration put out recently regarding a crypto reserve. We'll get into that. I'm going to do a follow-up on Ripple, XRP, and probably about 7 different things here. Now, I've got a playlist because I've gone through XRP for a very long time. I said what I wanted to say. I wasn't really promoting it. I just wanted to put out facts. This is Crypto for the Rest of Us. I'm Brian. I always have to say I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is just for informational purposes. Do your own research. I'm going to provide information, and what I try to do is organize it as best I can to present all of the various topics. So let's go through it. And I'll talk about a couple of the videos I have on this playlist, and I'll have them down below listed out. So if you want to go and watch each one of them, you can. Some of them are 10 to 20 minutes. I'm going to try to keep this quick and just stick to the talking points. So regarding XRP itself, generally speaking, XRP was created 2012, and it was created as cross-border payment solution. That's what they always talk about. Basically, banks to banks. Now, along the way, they also talked about it being a CBDC, central bank digital currency. But for all intents and purposes, it was one thing, cross-border payments. Now, the reason it's being talked about a lot right now is obviously we have a new administration and they talk about having a strategic crypto reserve. People thought it might originally be called just a strategic Bitcoin reserve, but it wasn't. So the question now seems to be, well, what's going to be in there? Is it just going to be Bitcoin, or could it be other coins as well? And if it's other coins, is it just going to be US based coins? That's sort of what they're talking about. Bitcoin is a store of value for the most part. Everything else is basically a utility coin. As you will see as we go through this, Ripple's been around for a while, the Ripple the company, and XRP the cryptocurrency, and they have quite a lot of money, and people are talking about the fact that they're trying to obviously maybe use lobbyists or what have you to make sure that they're in that reserve. Maybe the only thing, or maybe one of many things, not sure. So first off, I want to show you this video here, and I've got a link down below to it. The video goes into great detail. I do a whiteboard video, and I talk about XRP and the company Ripple being completely different. Most of you know that, but if you don't, please understand that Ripple is a company. It's got stock, and XRP is a cryptocurrency. And if you buy the XRP cryptocurrency, you are not getting part of Ripple the company. It's very important to understand that. I go through how it works. They have what's called RippleNet, the ability to transfer cross-border banks to banks, essentially take whatever you've got, a euro, buy XRP, send it, within a couple seconds it arrives, the XRP is then immediately changed into another currency, maybe the dollar, done. On-demand liquidity, can do it really quickly. That's the general idea. RippleNet is a product and a service in the on-demand liquidity module, so to speak, owned by Ripple. They can use XRP. They don't have to. And they've actually said they've used stablecoins before. So, just so you know, if you watch that video, it goes through exactly how it works, how they're different, and points out the fact that Ripple can use RippleNet with banks and never use XRP. Doesn't mean they won't, just need to make sure that's important to point out. And I wanted to show I saw this post by an individual saying, hey, to facilitate a USD to GBP transaction, banks can swap USD to XRP and then swap XRP to GBP, what I just described. XRP acts as liquidity. But, he said, what most banks are doing is swapping USD to GBP directly on RippleNet because banks have their own liquidity. Okay, I don't know the validity of this or who this person is, but if that's correct, that just goes to show that they may not need XRP in every case. The other one I wanted to point out, he's basically pointing out essentially the same thing, It's claimed to be that its use case as a bridge currency for remittances was made completely redundant and invalid when people actually adopted stable coins for that use case. No one wants to use a volatile, illiquid, thinly traded asset as a bridge currency. Okay, and I've got a video down below as well where I talk about the fact that XRP could be replaced by stable coins, and Ripple created their own stable coin, the RLUSD. So it's possible that Ripple could use RippleNet. They could use it with a stable coin. What would benefit them is to use the RLUSD stable coin. And then XRP would not even need to be used, which is what this individual is alluding to as well, using stable coins. And they could use their own. If RippleNet and RLUSD generates income and money for Ripple, that's great. Doesn't mean XRP sees any of that or transaction volume or fees or anything on the ledger. Okay. Also, I've got another video here which I'll show you where I talk about the fact that XRP would probably not, at least I show cases why, replace SWIFT. That seems to be for the last 12 years. What everyone's been talking about. SWIFT is the banking system, not banking system, but the system to transfer money between banks. That's what they've been doing for a very long time. So when XRP was created, it was created to replace it. If you go through that video, you'll see that some banks are using alternative solutions. While XRP may be used to do that, they don't have to be used. And a lot of people seem to think that XRP was going to 100% replace SWIFT. And that seemed to be why everyone was saying XRP is going to balloon in price, because if everyone's using it, the price has to go up in order to do large dollar transactions because there may not be enough XRP. So if you need to buy and send XRP and you're sending a couple $1 billion and there's not a lot of XRP available, then the price of XRP has to go up pretty high in order for that to happen. While logically that makes sense, it's assuming that SWIFT just dies and goes away. They don't want to compete. They don't care. And they let XRP take all of their business. Watch that video. I don't believe that's going to be the case. And I'll mention this again, but over the last 12 years, from what I saw, I looked online and SWIFT does $15 trillion a year in transfers, which is 150,000 billions. And from what I've seen, and you may want to check this yourself, I believe it was Brad Goringhouse that said they've done about 50 billion in transfers with XRP over the last 12 years. And SWIFT does 150,000 billion per year. They're not making a dent. So we just talked about the difference between Ripple and their solution and XRP and why it might be displaced and why a stable coin like RLUSD could be used instead, and why SWIFT may not be completely displaced by XRP or at all. They may use different things. Let's talk about the price. And I'm going to show you a video here because it was interesting to see this video because it was very similar to what I put together. And I'll show you this video that I have down below. And there's a link to it where I talked about the use case, or the case, I should say, where the price may never change. Basically, I'll summarize it as this. You buy your XRP, you send it, and within 3 seconds, you sell your XRP. Bought, sold. It's because it's so fast, but if you're buying it and selling it that quickly, the price isn't really going to change. And you don't want the price to change. If the price goes down, you sent your $1 million and you ended up with 950,000, you're not happy. You wanted to send $1 million and get $1 million with a small transaction cost. You don't want to buy a volatile currency or a volatile crypto that may yield and end up having less at the destination. So if you send $1 million and you have 950,000, you're not happy. So the argument from when you're talking about XRP is, oh, but it happens so fast, the price won't change. Okay, well, if the price doesn't change, then the price doesn't change. The price never needs to change, other than hype online. But between the transfers, it doesn't. Listen to this.
In 1 minute, Ripple created XRP in 2012 to make cross-border payments fast and cheap. The idea was, instead of banks having to park money in different countries around the world for transfers, they'd now be able to keep all that money home and use XRP instead. Bank A in the US would exchange dollars for XRP, send them within seconds to Bank B in Europe, where they'd exchange the XRP back into euros. Simple and efficient, but that meant no one would hold XRP for more than a few seconds, meaning demand would never be higher than supply. In other words, price can't go up.
So when I made my video, the comments, people were not happy and they thought I was a complete moron, which actually may be true. But this video, I was happy to run across it because this individual happened to make a post all about XRP, and I was happy to see this video that actually said the same thing that I said. The price is going to change, it's going to happen very quickly. But now let's talk about CBDC, central bank digital currencies. Central banks around the world issuing digital currencies, we no longer then would need cash. A lot of people, myself included, don't really want to see central bank digital currencies with the idea that, well, the population could possibly be controlled. You might be kept from using your currency for different reasons. If you don't do this or you don't do that, whatever it may be. So there's been quite a few that don't like that. The administration's current executive order so that the US cannot create a central bank digital currency. And this individual goes through it in many ways, showing that, look, Ripple has been pushing. Here's a video of theirs a while ago where they're pushing the central bank. There it is, Ripple CBDC platform. He talks about it. They've got many different articles here showing. Here's another one where they're talking about it. And they've been pushing central bank digital currencies for a while. But it looks like that won't be happening in the US. So there's another reason why it's not going to be needed, XRP, as a central bank digital currency, which is really the only second thing I've seen them push it as. One, cross-border payments, two, central bank digital currency. It looks like both of those may be no-goes. All right, now let's talk all about XRP uses, more than what I just said. I made a video, and I'll have it down below as well. I'm just going to summarize it right here. I took the standpoint of XRP uses from an optimistic view, which you see here, and then the exact same thing from a pessimistic view. I was just trying to give both sides of the coin. You make your own decision. And I was trying to find as many possible things I could about XRP and how it could be used. Okay, number one, cross-border payments. We already talked about that. Number two, currency, central bank digital currency. Talked about that. Number three, store of value. Well, that's interesting. That's really Bitcoin owns the store of value. I don't think there's any question about that. Four, they're trying to get into RWA tokenization. That could very well be used. Now, Ripple could make quite a bit of money from that. XRP being used, I guess, for some of the transaction costs maybe. Then they have Ripple custody. Now, Ripple custody is a solution Ripple came out with to essentially hold crypto on others' behalf. Whether or not, while Ripple may make money from that, I'm not sure how XRP would be involved other than maybe some transactional costs, possibly. Number six there, Ripple USD. That's what we talked about. That, I believe, will make a lot of money for Ripple. What will it make for XRP? Possibly nothing. Number seven, smart contracts on the ledger. So using, XRPL as a layer one, the XRPL EVM sidechain, those could all be good, but again, may not use XRP, or maybe to execute some of the transactions, XRP would be used. But that would be changing the whole use case and saying, forget digital currencies, forget cross-border payments. We are now going to be just another layer one. There's many layer ones. And I believe there's a lot of people that would say there are many layer ones much better because they're actually decentralized. That's a whole nother thing, getting into the technology. Number nine, potentially an ETF coming out in 2025. While that could affect the XRP price, possibly, it's not going to help if they don't have a business model that's being pushed forward. And this would be the best video to watch if you want to understand everything about it. First, I would watch, there's two below, the one that talks about Ripple and XRP and exactly how it works, whiteboards it out for you, and second, all the different use cases. Now let's talk about the fact that I alluded to, that in 12 years, they really haven't gotten any traction. And they've been this is Ripple, they've been talking about XRP is cross-border solution for banks. This is their own CTO, and listen to what he says.
very sexy when you close a deal with the bank, and we do that sometimes, but they're very slow movers. They're very slow to execute. They're very conservative. They're never going to be Ripple success stories, and it's hard to get them to push the benefits down to their customers because that's risky for them, and then it highlights where they're inefficient. So we focused a lot on banks in the beginning just because a press release with a bank is a big thing, but we discovered they're just very slow to move. Like, if all they want is a press release, now we're like, hey, we want to actually move billions of dollars now. And they're like, yeah, we kind of don't.
Not sure why he giggled there, but, I've seen videos from him before. Very likable guy, obviously very smart individual. But what he was pointing out, wow, they just let the cat out of the bag. He said banks are not using their solution. All the banks wanted to do was put out press releases. And all they wanted to do was put out press releases. But they actually wanted to start moving the money, but the banks didn't want to do it. So for all these years, you keep seeing these press releases, and so-and-so signed an NDA and that sort of thing. But it looks like, from the mouth of the CTO, they're not moving money through the banks. And that is their solution. Now, Ripple, the company, may completely shift into those other use cases that I talked about, like RLUSD, etc. But quite possibly, that's going to leave XRP stranded, and it's going to be maybe not used at all, or used very little. Now, here's one thing I pointed out, and this makes a lot of people mad, and I don't know why. But I went through, and everything in here that's in quotes is from their website, the XRP Ledger website, an explanation of their escrow. But I summarize it here very quickly. Ripple placed 55 billion XRP into a cryptographically secured escrow account. Okay, when they first started out. So there's 100 billion XRP. Ripple placed 55 into an escrow account. All right. The escrow consists of independent on-ledger escrows that release a total of 1 billion XRP each month over the next 55 months. This was years ago. It's still going on, and here's why. And this is saying they can release up to 1 billion. Ripple can release 1 billion XRP, because they hold 55 billion of it, every month. Sell it and receive the proceeds. Hold on. Now, the amount of XRP actually released into circulation will likely be much less than this, and the additional XRP left over each month will be placed into a new escrow to release in the first month in which no escrow currently releases. All right. I used to be an attorney, so I can tell you what this means. It means they had no other way to write it. It's a little frustrating. What they're saying is they're going to release 1 billion per month for 55 months. So let's say the first month they have 1 billion to release. So they don't have to release the whole billion. If they only release 500 million, they can take the other 500 million and put it at the end of the 55 months. So now they actually have 56 months. And then the next month, if they don't release it all, they can tack it on to the end. And that is what they've been doing. Now, some of the XRP, they can take it and they can use it and just give away XRP and say, oh, well, we want to help you. Here's some XRP, build on our ledger. Or we want to buy your company. We want to buy it with XRP. Or we're going to put XRP on the market and we're going to get the proceeds. Now, XRP at $3, which is around what it is right now, means Ripple can generate $3 billion a month by selling XRP. Must be nice, I said, to have an operating budget up at $3 billion a month. And they have the XRP buyers to thank. So, it sounds like there's a possibility, and this is just a hypothesis, or a guess, that over the last 12 years, they really haven't gotten their cross-border payment solution to be adopted by banks. And the way they've stayed in business, now they did raise, I think it was like 200 million or more. Some of it was taken back, but they raised a substantial amount of venture capital money. Again, back 12 years ago. It was under a different name, and a year later they changed the name, changed it again. Here's what it is. But that means that they can have $3 billion a month to pay their employees, to lobby, whatever it is they want to do with that money. That is a lot of money. That is a huge operating budget. And where does it come from? If it's coming from the sale of XRP, everyone out there that's buying XRP is essentially funding the Ripple company, but you don't get a piece of the Ripple company. That's very important to understand. That if they're being funded primarily from the XRP being sold, then Ripple is selling XRP, taking the proceeds and running their business. and the shareholders are benefiting from that. But the XRP individuals, the individuals holding XRP who have bought it, may not be, well, they're definitely not benefiting from Ripple because you don't have a piece of Ripple. So to me, that's a very unfortunate situation if that's the case. So we're going to see how this plays out with respect to whether or not XRP ends up in the U.S. Strategic Reserve. I've got this whole playlist. I'll have links down below. Please don't kill the messenger. I'm not saying anything other than do your own research, learn as much as you can about the investments you're making. It's your money. You're responsible for whether or not you're going to generate returns from it by picking something that's going to be valuable. Learn as much as you can about it. Hope this was helpful. Hope we can all make generational wealth together with crypto. Thanks for watching and have a great day.